Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد. After praising the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala and passing salutation upon His Messenger Muhammad, may peace and blessings be upon him, we go to the second part. Tonight is the 16th night of Shaban, 1446. As for the day in Gregorian, it's the 14th, and it's the 15th night, of course, of February. But it's the 14th day of 2025 of February, and we are on the second part of the rights of Ramadan upon the Muslim. And we have in the first right talked about some of the rules regarding the month of Rajab, the month of Shaban, and we have given as well a start for the month of Ramadan. And tonight, inshallah, we'll try to seal everything that we can about the coming guest, that is the month of Ramadan. As you can see, in front of me, so many information here, but I need to make sure I could pick up the most important, because I cannot really put all Ramadan in one lecture, and this lecture is already, we have to be fast because we started a bit late. So I'll start with, first of all, when I left it last time, at tahari. Tahari means we must cite, not fight, cite, citing, not fighting. And our ummah, as the Prophet said, نحن أمة أمية. We are illiterate ummah, meaning that's how we receive the information, as illiterate, not ignorant, illiterate. We do not read, do not write. لا نكتب ولا نحسب. And we don't start mathematicians. We are. الشهر for us, either this 30 days, he said, or this 29 days. One of the two. Yeah, this or that. 30 or 29 days. This hadith is not encouraging us to stay illiterate. No. On the contrary, the Prophet ﷺ, the Battle of Badr, when he had some people who are prisoners of war, he said they teach some companions reading and writing, and they could just get their freedom. So, encouragement of learning. I mean, you could see it across the Quran and across the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So it's not encouragement to become illiterate. But this sort of calculation for ibadah should be equal for both the learned man and the illiterate man. Do you understand that? So both has to be on equal ground in terms of calculating the beginning of Hajj, the beginning of Ramadan. Okay? So there's something called al-ahilla, crescents, the newborn moon. So this has to be equal. Imagine that the ibadah of a certain ibadah is only a person who's a professor can understand. So what about the layman? How do you understand it? When put in university, you want to understand this? No. So they have to be equal in regarding of this ibadah. So the moon was being given to us for the Hajj, for Ramadan, for the zakah, yearly, called the year. يسألونك عن الأهلة. Allah Azza wa Jalla said, "Oh Muhammad, they ask you about the ahilla, the crescents. قل هي مواقيت للناس." Say to them that this is a time for the people. As for the sun, it's for the what? The salah. We know for the sunrise, the sunset. We know from the sun movement, when is the dhuhr and asr and maghrib. We know from the dawn, because the dawn is linked to the sun, what time is the fajr, and so on and so forth. So our ibadah is based upon the, you could say that we see what our eyes is not based upon mathematical calculation. And we're not really inquired to go and calculate and make astronomical calculation. This, by the way, astronomical calculation is not something that is being, introduced in the very current era. No, it's been known from the Greeks, from the pharaohs. You know, the pharaohs, when they built the pyramids, they used to have this astronomical calculation, and the stars and how the pyramid goes matching for the such and such star. They know this. So it's nothing to do with just late in discovery. It's been known. But the Prophet ﷺ, he said that we are to be equal regarding the sighting with the eyes, not with the calculation. And this moon is to be established by, in every month, 2 witnesses. But Ramadan can be established by 1 witness. This witness has to fulfill, or in the other months have to fulfill this witness, the following conditions. Number one, Muslim. Non-Muslim, no. Number two is to be a person who is aqil, sane. Number three, he has to be an adult. Children is not allowed. Number four, he has to be just. He's not a liar, known to be a liar, criminal. We're not going to believe him. His testimony is refuted. Okay. Number five, he's got good vision. I mean, if he's got some no good vision or is blind, you can't take him. Some scholars add another condition that he has to be a man. And this, being a male or a female, is controversial. And my time here does not really have enough to go to which one is the more correct to go into it in details. But when we see at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the ones who sighted the moon all the time were the men. The women, they were not involved. The women, they're not to go out and go and sight for the moon. Then the men will go out not to sight the moon, they sight the women. If they go to sight the moon, they go out sight them. So this is left for men. But the Prophet ﷺ also, he made this sighting for everybody, meaning that we are to be with the sighting of what the country had decided. So let's say in a place I can't have communication with the outside world, and I could see that the crescent is there, so tomorrow is the month of Ramadan for me. And on the following day, afternoon, I managed to get in contact with the outside world. And where my locality is, they're saying, oh, well, we didn't sight the moon, then Ramadan is going to be on the day after. So today is going to be the 30th of Sha'ban. Now, I have seen with my own eyes a crescent. I'm not supposed to fast. I have to break my fast. Because the fast is a community. It's not a single. So I have to break my fast. Because the Prophet said, صَوْمُكُمْ يَوْمَ تَصُومُونَ وَفِطْرُكُمْ يَوْمَ تُفْطِرُونَ وَأَضْحَاكُمْ يَوْمَ تُضْحُونَ. Your fast when everybody's fast. Your Eid al-Fitr when everybody makes Eid al-Fitr. When Eid al-Adha comes, everybody comes Eid al-Adha. It's not for you to come out of your house and say, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Lillahi alhamd. No, there's no Eid. You can't do your own Eid. You can't do your own Ramadan. You can't do your own Adha. It has to be a community. So even if you see it with your eyes, unless you are staying in that area, in this remote area, no communication, you go with your own moon. But if you're going to get in contact with the community, then you have to abide with the sighting of that community who you are with. Unfortunately, we don't have any, a place that we could sight the moon, because I'm a Muslim buddy. We're going to sight the moon, it's always cloudy anyway. Okay, so to sight the moon, so we go with the mainstream of ours. We go with what my masjid is linked to. And masajid, most of them, Ahl Hadith, they are linked to the Saudi Arabia, Mecca. It's not Saudi Arabia because they got petrol. No, don't look at petrol. We look at it because they are like the center. They are Mecca, Medina, the place of the birth of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the birth of the deen of Islam. Okay, the birth of the religion of Islam. It's because of that we look up to it. Plus, those people, they are not people like us. Moon for us is strange. We hardly see it, and we see it just how beautiful it is. But those people who are in these areas, they live with the moon. They navigate themselves through the moon. They look at the stars day in, day out. Especially the elders, they know it. So they know when they see the moon that this is the moon. It is not a UFO or something being sent by America. No. They know this is the moon. So they live with it. And they know from the thickness of it what day it is, roughly. They will know. Now, this is a thick one. So they will know. So these people, when they sight the moon, they've sighted the moon. And we are supposed to be, as an area which is non-Muslim, and we haven't got money to sight, to go along with the first ones who break the news to sight the moon. But now, if our masjid, is linked to, let's say, Green Lane Masjid, or linked to a region park masjid, okay, and they go with Saudi Arabians, we will go with them, because remember, I know my family, I know my locality. I want to do my Eid with the people I know. I don't want to eat on my own. I want to fast on my own. So that's why I go with them, even though, as I said, we are supposed to be going with the first Muslim country that they sight the moon. Unfortunately, we have always moon fighting, not moon sighting. Allah understand. Right, now we come to the rule of the fast. The fast here, either it is fast, which is Ramadan, compulsory fast, okay, or it is a fast which is a voluntary fast. So it's either compulsory or it's either voluntary. The fast which is compulsory is of three types. One, because of the time, and that's Ramadan. And one, because of a reason, and that is a kafara, expiation. And one, because you have made it compulsory upon you through the vow. So the compulsory fast is of three types. It's because of the time, Ramadan comes, Ramadan is obligatory. Or because it is a reason that you have made an oath and you expiated the oath, you violated the oath, you expiated. So you go to feed 10 poor people, or clothe them, you don't have that, then you go to fast 3 days, it becomes compulsory. Third type of compulsory fast is the one who, for example, it makes a vow, never makes another upon him, that becomes a compulsory. Now the rule of the fast of Ramadan is compulsory upon the following category. So for this categories had to be fasting obligatory. Number one, Muslim. So if a non-Muslim embraced Islam in the middle of a day in Ramadan, we will say to him, abstain from the moment of Islam until the Maghrib, and it will be counted. How about that? Do you understand that? So this non-Muslim, let's say, embraced Islam 10 minutes before sunset. Okay, hold with the 10 minutes and your day is counted. SubhanAllah. But this is, of course, not for him deliberately, let me embrace Islam just before. No, he is just, he be convinced about Islam at that time, then he will abstain from the food and it will be counted for him. Also, it is compulsory when the person becomes a adult. If he's not an adult, we carry them to fast, but it's not compulsory. So we will train the child to fast, maybe when he was a child, half a day or quarter of a day, then we increase it half a day. We encourage them to do that, okay? So we give them, as well as the time of the Prophet of Allah, they used to give them the toys made of the wool, the toys made of cloth. to give it to the child in order to keep his mind away from asking for the food. Okay? So he used to do that to encourage them, to encouraging the child to fast with his not remember, and each child according to his ability. Some children, mashallah, you can take it, some children, they can't take it. Okay? So we'll train them, but once they have an adult, then it becomes compulsory upon them. Then the third condition, he has to be sane, because if a person is insane, okay, then he is not required to fast. So this is a person who is sane. And by the way, the adulthood is when you reach the adulthood is to be reached either by that you have a wet dream, or by that you have a pubic hair, or by that you have reached 15 lunar years. As for the women, they have another one, and that is the menses. If one of these signs comes, then this person is an adult. Right. After we said that the person has to be sane, okay, by the way, is the one who is insane, do we pay kafara onto him? Is it kafara onto him? Yes, there is when we pay fidya onto him. Yes, there is a fidya for not him fasting. Number 4, the one which is the condition has to be capable. Capable means physically, to fast. This capability, we have incapability, and that is long term. Like, for example, an old man. Old man's going to get older. A weak man's going to get weaker. Okay, so this one is incapable for long term. And also another one, which is a person who's got chronically illness. This person, to give kafara, both of them. The one which is, that is the person who is old, man or woman, or a person who's got chronic illness, and it lasts for a year or so. And that person, he will be giving a fidya for each day he breaks the fast to feed a poor person, or to give half a sa' for each day, half a sa' for each day. So this is for the person who is, you could say, permanent or chronic incapability, illness. Second one, who is a person who is, we call it, what you call it, like an illness which comes, sometimes and sometimes, like, for example, a person got flu, a person who's got a medical issue which is going to be for temporarily. So this is called ajzun tari', okay, which is a person who's ill, and this person, he cannot, with his illness, fast, so he breaks his fast, and then he will to this person compensate later on when he is capable. So this person, he is an ill person, okay, and even this illness is not really strong, but he fears that if he's to fast, his illness will increase. That gives him the concession, okay? So this person gives him the concession to break his fast. But if this illness will get increased as soon as he fasts, then it is haram, sinful upon him to fast. So again, so this person was ill. If his illness is not to be affected he's not going to be harming when he's fasting, but it will, a person makes it difficult, or it will increase the illness later on. So it is not going to be hard for him to fast, but it might prolong the illness. We'll say to him, it is dislike for you to fast. A person who makes it, it's going to affect him if he fasts, it might be jeopardizing his life, it's haram upon him to fast. A person whom the illness does not affect him whatsoever, whether he fasts and he does not going to prolong his cure, then he should fast. That means the illness is not really that much. Okay, so that's how we could really measure the illness. If he's to break his fast, then he should make up for that. Now, the thing that is left now, which is the women who are pregnant and the women who are breastfeeding. Those women who are pregnant and breastfeeding, according to what we believe is the correct opinion, they as well follow those ones who are incapable, like long term. So they give the fidya just like the old men, just like the old women, and also like those who are diagnosed with a chronic illness. So they will give a poor person's food that is cooked for him for every day, or they could, as I said, give a half a sa'. Half a sa' is about 2 kilos for each day they break the fast. These 2 kilos has to be from food that can be stored, like rice and so on and so forth. From the conditions as well, so we mentioned up to now, is to be Muslim, and then adult, to be sane and capable. Number 5 is to be resident. So if he's not resident, is a traveler, then he has the option to break his fast, and he will do what is suitable for himself. So concession here for the musafir, for the traveler, and to be taken as a concession. One is very important to understand that this concession is to serve the purpose. Let's say, for example, that this person is traveling in luxury, and he's traveling to an area where the day is short. Okay, and if he's to break his fast, he believes it's going to be difficult for him to go and compensate. Okay, on other days outside Ramadan. Then in this case, it's much recommended to fast, because the concession is to serve the purpose, make it easier for you. So if you're going to break your fast, and you're going to find it very difficult to fast, compensate that day, then this concession is actually the opposite. So you use the concession according to what suits your situation. So if you think it is going to be easy for you to compensate for the day, and it's going to be a bit difficult for me to fast, especially I'm traveling through a number of stations, transit in this country and that country, I think I would break my fast. So depending upon your case, each one takes a concession according to what is suitable to him. Once he is going to be difficult upon him to fast that day while he's traveling, and it's going to affect his health, it's haram upon him to fast. Okay, haram upon him to fast. This is exactly, we treat him just like the one which I've said before, was a person who is ill, and his illness, it will increase if he's to fast, and he might jeopardize his life. Haram, sinful upon you to fast. A man who is diagnosed even with a chronic illness, like a diabetes, if he's to fast, he might fall while he's on the stairs and cut himself or something. Haram upon him to fast. Sinful. So this person as well happened at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet of Allah, he went to Mecca in Ramadan in order to repossess Mecca on the year after Hijrah. He traveled in Ramadan. So in Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ, he was fasting while he's traveling. Remember, it takes about 4 days to arrive to Mecca from Medina, and he's not in a bus or a train. He's on mount or on foot, and it's heat and hot. So it's so hot. The companions, some of them couldn't take it. So some of them approached the Prophet of Allah, the Messenger of Allah. Some companions, or most of them, they are really not breaking the fast because they see you're not breaking the fast. And it's so hot now. And so the Prophet of Allah, out of being mercy gift to mankind, straight away, he holds the cup in front of everybody and he drinks it to break his fast in front of everybody so they could really what? Take him as a role model, and they broke their fast. In another incident, in that case, the Prophet ﷺ, he saw as well a person whom the companions around him was on top of him. He asked what is happening. He said, well, he's fasting. And he's fasting after the Prophet of Allah told him to what? To break the fast. He broke the fast himself. And he started saying so harsh words to him. Why do you want to do such a thing? And then he said the word, لَيْسَ مِنَ الْبِرِّ الصِّيَامُ فِي السَّفَرِ. It is not an act of righteousness to fast while you're traveling. If you think it's an act of righteousness to go and exert pressure on your body and go expose your body to danger by fasting, that's not correct. It is not going to be giving you more reward. On the contrary, it's going to be more sinful. One day the Prophet of Allah was traveling along with him, Abu Bakr and Umar. And then the Prophet of Allah, what was Ramadan? Fast. So the Prophet called them for food. So they said, we are fasting, Messenger of Allah. It could be maybe not Ramadan. They said, we're fasting. He said, ارحلوا لصاحبيكما أعدوا طعاما لصاحبيكما. He said, oh yes, come on, make his food, make for him his bed. That means once you fast, you're going to put pressure on your companions, your friends. They're going to be serving you, they're going to be looking after you because you're fasting. So one day the Prophet, when he was in a journey, and in Ramadan, he was not fasting, companions, some of them fasting, some of them not fasting. So when it was really hot, the one who's not fasting, they had power. So they started putting their tents for their friends who were fasting. So the Prophet said, ذهب المفطرون بالأجر. The one who had been not fasting, they took the full reward. Why they took the full reward? Because they were looking after those ones are fasting. They took the reward. So it's better for you not to fast, rather than to be what? A person like a burden on the one who's not fasting. Oh God, he's fasting now, so I have to make sure that I'm going to make him the food when he's making the fast. I'm going to look after him and see him. So you're putting a burden on the person who is not fasting. But, as I said, companions struggle with each other. Some of them fasting, some of them not fasting. Each one of them, they will not tell them off. As long as it's not a burden. So this one will not call this person, oh, you're fasting, you're extremist. And the one who's not fasting will not say to the one who is fast. So the one who's not fasting will not say to the one who's fasting, you extremist, nor the one that's fasting will say to the one who's not fasting, you chicken. Why don't you fast? Okay? Each one has his own capability. Your capability in the trouble is not like my capability. You can take it, I can't take it. So if you see somebody who's struggling and not fasting, give him an excuse. But I wouldn't recommend a person who is coming from a journey or something like this, and then he's giving a lecture, okay, in the month of Ramadan, and he is addressing the people, and then he's asking for water to drink it in front of everybody. This is not correct. This is not Ramadan. I've heard this, a person have done this. Okay? He asked for water. It's Ramadan, because not everybody knows about you traveling. No, but everybody. We're not in a journey, are we? We're in a hall, in a room. We're not traveling together. So he did ask for water. Da'i for everybody. Subhanallah. The scholars, they said to the women whom they have their menses on and they can't fast, not to break their fast in front of children they don't understand. Because how can you command the child and encourage him to go and fast and you eating your biscuits? How does the child understand? How? He's going to see his mother, she's got double personality. She's a liar. So be careful, missus. Make sure that you don't break the fast in front of the children. The children have to understand as well, why my mother, she's not praying and she's asking me to pray. They have to ask. And one of my grandchildren who used to come, I always call him and little sister, to come pray with me. He's only about 6, 7, 8, and he's now grown up, maybe almost 9 years old. But since he's a kid, I bring him. So I say to him, where's your mother? He says, she doesn't pray. His mother, she prays, but he's seen a number of times, she doesn't pray. So she doesn't pray. I said, no, she prays. I said, no, she doesn't pray. I've seen a number of times, pray, she doesn't pray. Wallahi. So I had to explain to him. He was about 7 years. I had to explain to him what happened. And then I mentioned a word, and I said, there's something called an egg. And that egg, only in the females. When it breaks, they can't pray. So I couldn't go further than this. Now when he's grown up, so I said, is your mother coming to pray? He said, no, she's an eggy. Eggy. So he uses the word eggy. She's eggy, that means what? She doesn't pray. He doesn't understand all of that, but he'd understand that if she's got this, she can't pray. So I'm just saying, what about the fast? So you have to be careful as a mother not to break your fast in front of the children. Now we're coming to, Khwani, very important issue, the sixth condition. I'll repeat the conditions again when the fast becomes compulsory upon the person. Muslim, adult, sane, capable, and he is resident. Now we come to the sixth condition. He is, or she is, and that is free from excuses, free from things which would prevent them to fast, and that is only menses and postnatal. If the woman is to have her blood just started before sunset, her day is invalid. If her blood does not stop until just after Fajr, she can't fast that day. Is that understood? She has to be free from that menses from morning, dawn until sunset. Now we come to the pillars of the fast. Arkanus Sawm. Pillars of the fast are 2 pillars, nothing more. But we have to understand them properly. First one, an-niyyah. Intention. Intention, ya ikhwan, is, and I'm talking about, is the intention that is to do with the fiqh. There's 2 types of intention. Type of intention which is sincerity, that means you do it for Allah. And the other type, which is for the particular ibadah that you're going to do. This intention for the particular ibadah that you're going to do, it has 4 conditions. So this intention for that particular ibadah, whether it's fasting or salah, we're talking about the fasting, it's got 4 intention, 4 conditions. Condition number 1 is that you have to have decisiveness, jazm. If you said maybe, like for example, you say tomorrow, tomorrow is Ramadan, for example, or one of the days of Ramadan. Can I just ask everybody to pay attention because we need to talk? So he's saying well, tomorrow if I don't travel, I'll fast. It will not be accepted. Do you understand me? If he said, if I don't travel, I will fast. That's not going to be accepted. It has to be what? I have to fast. It has to be decisive. You can't just say maybe, maybe not. Okay? A good example is the night which is precedes the first day of Ramadan. So we are on the 29th, it could be tomorrow the 30th of Sha'ban, or it could be the 1st of Ramadan. He says, well, if it is going to be the 30th of Sha'ban, I'm not going to fast. Going to be the 1st of Ramadan, I will fast. It's not going to work. You have to know that tomorrow is Ramadan or not, and then based upon that you make the intention. So you have to know that tomorrow Ramadan, my intention is to fast. Not to say, I'll sleep after Asr, don't care. I don't care about whether they're going to announce Ramadan or not. If it's tomorrow Ramadan, I'll happen to be fasting. If it's not Ramadan, I'll break my fast. That day will not be accepted. Has to be what? Has jazm, decisiveness. Second condition, you have to have ta'een. That means you point. I'm going to fast. That is tomorrow. So you have to ta'een. It's not like fast in general. I have to fast. So you ayin. Don't make it general. Number 3, and that is to have it between sunset until Fajr. So he will make the intention well after the Fajr. That's for the Nafila. As for the obligatory, no. Your intention has to be within the time between sunset, Maghrib, until dawn. After that, you can't make the intention. Before that, intention will not be valid. If a person had, been tired and he slept after Asr, but he generally wants to fast the following day, no problems. He woke up just Fajr, okay? And he generally fasts, but he was sleeping after Asr, no problem. That day will count for him. Now, do I need to renew the intention for every night? That's a controversial amongst the scholars. Just like when we have the witnesses, can be women or not, controversial. This is controversial as well. Just to be on the safe side, make sure that you do it for every night. And I would say to you, Ikhwani, you must do it if you had broken your fast for a reason, like you were traveling. You traveled in the middle of Ramadan and you broke your fast. You were ill and you broke your fast. You have to renew the intention then, in that case, with a consensus. But it's the only one we have controversial is the person who's fasting the whole of Ramadan, one go, non-stop. Is one intention enough? Correct opinion? No. Every night. Right. Coming to the intention itself. One intention is a very easy matter. We made conditions to it, 4 conditions, but just knowing tomorrow is Ramadan fast, that's the intention. It's not something that you're going to say or learn and memorize. If you do your suhoor, your pre-dawn meal, that's an intention itself. Nobody will wake up his family and his wife and himself and will make food and eat what he's doing. This in itself is an intention. So all of that is an intention. Second condition, so this is the first pillar, a rukun, pillar for fasting, intention. Second pillar is to abstain from all the materialistic breakers of the fast. And I said materialistic because there is something called the spiritual breakers. Now we know for a fact that the whole of the month of Ramadan is not. Yeah. No, that means the battery. You remember you forgot to do that? That was really loud, wasn't it? Oh dear. Quickly, just wait. We lost the power. Come on. No, brother, I can't. This has to be there. There. Jazakallah khair. Can you just bring that thing, the red one, please, to us? Allahul Musta'an. So quickly, lost the battery. Just 1 second. Completely lost it. Are you with me, Ahmed?
Yes,
Ahmed.
Shaykh.
Jazakallah khair. I just lost the battery. The whole down, system gone down.
Bismillah. We need to record again, Shaykh, because their YouTube has sound problems.
Okay, so we stopped it, yes? Can you just spotlight me, please, again? Jazakallah khair. Right. So this is the pillars of the fast. Pillars of the fast is to, as well, to abstain from the materialistic breakers. This is the one will invalidate your day. But you could have your day fulfilling the conditions, but there's no reward. So what's the point? And that's what brings us to the spiritual breakers. Most of the books of the fiqh, they talk about the materialistic breakers. That means you drink water, you, for example, you have menses, menstruation, all of that, you vomit. But they don't talk about the spiritual breakers. Our Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah said, this is the whole thing from Ramadan, is to do about the spirituals. When the Prophet of Allah, he said, من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به فليس لله حاجة في أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. Meaning, that if the person does not abandon saying falsehood and also indulging into falsehood, then Allah has got no need for you to abstain from food and drink. No need. What's the point of you having no food and drink and you are liar, slanderer, backbiter? There's no need. So you could, yes, have your day, no food from sunset, from dawn until sunset, mashallah, but not accepted. The same thing with the prayers. When the Prophet ﷺ, he said, if the person would pray his prayer, none of his prayer would be accepted except for a tenth. He started with a tenth and he ended up with the half. The half is that, mashallah, he got really good. The tenth is the minimum. So if less than the tenth, you got nothing from the prayer. So you have fulfilled the prayer in terms of wudu, in terms of ruku' and sujood, but your prayer is being thrown into your face. Yes, the hadith which is not authentic, but the meaning of it sound that this prayer will be thrown into your face. Why? Because you are a person who is praying it physically, but it's not affecting you in your heart-wise. You're still a cheater. You're still a person who's doing all sorts of bad things and evil things. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, Inna salata tanha al fahsha'i wal munkar. Verily, prayer prevents a person from indulging into haram. So are you belying Allah? So you are praying and yet you're still doing haram? What's the point? So you are saying Allah is a liar when He said, verily the prayer, it would prevent the person from doing fahsha and munkar. And yet you're doing fahsha and munkar. Which one is the liar? Can't be Allah Azza wa Jalla. It has to be you. That means you praying, but you're not praying. You understand that? Because if you prayed properly, definitely Allah's statement will be there, that it will prevent you from the haram. Same thing with the Ramadan. What's the point of you just abstaining from food and drink all the time, but you are a cheat, a liar, everything. Some of them even the worst. They fast, they don't pray. They fast, they don't pay zakah. They fast, they don't know anything about the Quran. What's this? I think they take it as a diet month, for their diet, health. Khwani, Ba'dallah, Khwani, this is dangerous. So spiritual breakers has to be in the mind all the time of yours. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Allah says that because you want to fast, so you could have piety. Taqwa of Allah, self-consciousness. This is the taqwa of Allah, Khwani, that we need to have. So the one that we're discussing now, the breakers which are the materialistic. Materialistic, we need to know that. They are the following. I can't really go through the details of everything because I'm going to leave that for the questions and answers. The followings are the breakers. Let's just get them together. Yalla, count. We're going to count, okay, at least 9. All right? Okay. Food, correct? Food, all types of food, even if the food is poison. You drank poison. You're eating poison food. Food. Even if it's a piece of paper. Somebody's eating a piece of paper. Somebody eating a piece of cloth and eating. Food. Whether it's beneficial or not beneficial. Number 2, drink. Whether it's the drink, whether it's Coke, whether it's cola, whether it's petrol, diesel, will break your fast. Beneficial or not beneficial. Drink will do that. So you got 2 now, food and drink. We have consensus upon them. No doubt about that. So food and drink are there. Now, I'm going to link something to this food and drink, which is the nourishment, which is a injection that meant to, not nourishment, gives you food and drink, the alternative, the drip. So a person has got a drip which is going into his vein, but it will make him live for months. He doesn't need to have to food. Well, I'll tell you, somebody in such a stage, he should be breaking his fast. How can he fast? But anyway, such injection, drip, it will break your fast because it is, and yet this one is controversial. Some scholars say it doesn't bring the break. So because it doesn't come from the nose and the mouth. And this is something else as well. Food and drink, ikhwani, has to come from the normal holes. You drink from the mouth or from your nose. Because you could go pipe and it links to your stomach. That's why Prophet Allah told us, when you are fasting, when you sniff, don't exaggerate. Because you might take it in. But as to go and feed yourself through your eyes, it doesn't break your fast. Or you put in some milk into your ears, it doesn't break your fast. Because you don't drink from your ears, nor you drink from your eyes. But this one is from the blood, isn't it? So that's what the scholars differ. Is it breaking or the correct opinion? Because it is a substitute for the food and the drink. Substitute, that's why we say it breaks the fast. That's number 3. Number 4, deliberate vomit. Deliberate vomit means if the vomit is not deliberate, you've been pushed to do the vomit. It's not you trying to vomit. Okay? There's some bug in your mouth and your stomach and you're trying to take it out, that will break your fast. But if you just, something came out, no problem, it will not break your fast. Okay? And the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَمَنْ ذَرَعَهُ الْقَيْء فَلَا شَيْءَ عَلَيْهِ مَنْ اسْتَقَى فَلْيُفْطَرْ. He would deliberately made himself to vomit, then let him break his fast. And then when he's being pushed, there's nothing on him. That's 4. Okay. Number 5. Intercourse. Al-jima'. Intercourse. And I said intercourse. I didn't say ejaculation. So whether this person intercourse and does not ejaculate or not, intercourse means the penetration of the head into the private part of the female. That's called intercourse. As for semen's coming out or ejaculation coming out, okay, by itself, without you driving it to motivate, that's what the consensus. It does not break your fast. The one which is controversial, they say that if the person deliberately had made himself to ejaculate by the help of his wife without penetration, for example, then that will break the fast. And that is controversial. I follow the ones who say it doesn't break the fast. The breaking of the fast, al-jima'. And we have consensus in the Quran and the Sunnah. And as for the other one, it's controversial because I'm going to negotiate because of the time. And I've negotiated that in different classes. So intercourse. So we've got how many now? 5. Correct? No. The 6th one, menses. 7th one is postnatal. Do you understand that? 6th is menses. 7th is postnatal. These two, definitely with the consensus, they will not allow you to continue the fast. We call it al-mufattirat al-idtirariya. That's the one you have no power to resist. Women, Allah ordained upon them to do that. Once they have the menses, they can't fast. They're not allowed to fast. They're not allowed to as well pray. They compensate for the fast, but they don't compensate for the prayer. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said so. Okay, that's 7 now. Now, these are the 7 that we know all the time from the books of fiqh. But some of the books of the fiqh, they add other issues, which can be as well fast breakers. Okay, so I would like anybody to help me after I mentioned the one which is I'm going to repeat them again. Food, drink, drip, deliberate vomit, and intercourse. Then menses, and then postnatal. Okay? Now we're going to add. Fadal. Right. Well done. Person who had left Islam, even momentarily, and then he came back to Islam, that day is what? Void. Okay, well done. So that's number 8. Anybody else? Can I get more difficult now? Fadal. Well done. MashaAllah, you've been listening to the talks. Well done. I'm really impressed now. Okay, a person who deliberately intended to break his fast. So he said, I'm going to break my fast. He went to the bottle of the water, and the bottle of water was empty. He broke his fast, doesn't he? Do you understand me? But if he said something which is not decisive, you remember you have to be decisive in your intention, that makes him in a fast. And you have to have decisive intention to break your fast. So if you had undecisive for entering the intention of Ramadan, it will not count. And also undecisive intention to break the fast will not be counted. Undecisive like what? If I go to the bottle of the water, if I feel myself thirsty, I might drink. That's undecisive. I might drink. Looking at the water, I might drink. But he will not break his fast. It has to be what? Decisive. I'm going to break my fast. Whether he said it or he didn't say it, intended it in his head. But this one is not, 100%. Okay? So that's that this person, it will not. If I fall and fainted, I will break my fast. If I get myself tired while I'm traveling, I'll break my fast. It will not break his fast. Because he did not break it. How many we got now? 8. 8 or 9? 9 years. I'm sorry. 7 from me and 2 from you. 9. Okay, I think we've got everything. You got anything else, Ahmed? I'm asking you.
We usually talk about hijama, Shaykh.
Okay, right. So this one is controversial. Scholars, they bring it. Jazakallah khairan. Hijama. Hijama means cupping, extracting the blood. The hadith of the Prophet of Allah, aftar al-hajim wal-mahjum. The person who makes hijama and the person who hijama has been done upon him, both broke the fast. The person who the hijama has been done upon him understood, but why the one who's doing hijama is to break his fast? Because at the time of the Prophet, hijama was not with this very modern tools, which is what? Air guns. It was with something called kuz. They suck it with their mouths. That's why it will make him break the fast. But this hadith is mansukh. Mansukh means abrogated. Because the hadith from the companion, he said, the last matter of the Prophet of Allah is that hijama does not break your fast. And the Prophet of Allah, he made hijama while he was fasting. Is it encouraged to make a hijama while you're fasting? No, it's not. Because you might lose blood and you need now glucose. So it's better to postpone it when you break in the fast, when you're not in the days of the Ramadan. So don't do the hijama in Ramadan. So hijama, and Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, al-iftar for something going in, not coming out. Do you understand that? Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, iftar, to break the fast, is something to go inside you, but not something to come out from you, which is the blood. It does not break the fast. We've talked about lots of issues. For example, you spittle, you phlegm. I'm sorry, I'm going to make you disgusted now. Now, you came out in your mouth, you swallowed it. It's not right, it's ugly, but it does not break your fast. But if you put it out and you start licking it, it'll break your fast. I'm sorry, as I said, it's going to be disgusting. So you spat it, and licked it from the table, becomes a foreign body now. Do you understand me? Once it comes out. But that's as well. Incense. Incense, ya ikhwani. I mean, you for example, you were in a bus and started somebody smoking cigarette. That's going to come to you, isn't it? You're going to inhale it. He breaks his fast, you don't break your fast. Okay? Because you're not intentionally going to smell it. Unless you said, oh, that cigarette is really nice. Please, brother, come smoking to me on face. You start smelling it like him. That will break your fast. All right? Burning incense. You know the incense, bakhur. Have you seen these people who bring the bakhur, lots of it? If this person went like this, it will break his fast. But if he came a house, which is mashallah smelling nice and bakhur, he smelt it, no problem. See, the intention here plays a big role. And by the way, the incense, why? Because it does leave stain. Because of that, okay, that is because of this al-jirm, because of this, it will break your fast. By this, alhamdulillah, I stop here. I'll give you very short time for questions and answers. And I haven't done all these papers, but inshallah, next year. Naam, tfaddal ya.
We heard that when the time for Fajr kicks in, and you still have food in your hand, that you should eat whatever's in your hand or drink what's in your hand. But a lot of our older uncles in our community, they also smoke. So if they have a cigarette in their hand, they will carry on smoking.
Never had this question, Ikhwani.
So
I would like everybody who's going to ask a question, please, to use this as well. So this question, I like that. Okay, can you just repeat that question so everybody can hear it? Tfaddal. Yalla, tfaddal.
So we know that people at the time of Ramadan.
I'm gonna. Is it on? By the way, is it blue? It's not blue?
No.
Come here. My Muslim damaged it. Only joke.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. So at the time of Ramadan, people, when they hear the adhan for Fajr, they carry on eating whatever's in their mouth. Or
according to the hadith, not everybody. The one who knows the hadith. Yes.
Yeah, some people, they follow this.
So the elders?
Some of the elders in our community, they smoke. So if they have a cigarette in their mouth, they will say, this is also like food, and I'm going to finish this as well. What is the advice to them?
Allah al-Musta'an. That's really, this is a person who's a sinner taking advantage from something which is halal. Let's first of all discuss the hadith. Hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, hadith in Sunan Dawood, which is authentic. The Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Man sami'a nidan, wa fi yadi ahadikum ina, fala yadahu hatta ya'khudha hajatahu min." أو كما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. فلا يدعه حتى يأخذ حاجته من. Person who had heard the adhan, that means the adhan of the Fajr, not the first adhan, which is the adhan before the Fajr, and he has got the pot in his hand, then let him not to leave it until he takes his need from it. Here in his hand, it is not literally has to be in his hand. Otherwise, we're going to be like Ibn Hazm. Okay, like Ibn Hazm, which is the one who takes about the superficial from outside. No, it means that you are on the food. Otherwise, each person during the adhan is going to hang on and say, okay, let me have the plate in my hand here, another plate in my hand here. No, it means that you are the food next to you. And that's the correct opinion, Ikhwani. Because there is a shopping market there, you'll find, it has to be in his hand. But this is not to do with his hand. It's a person who's got the food in front of him and he wants to finish it. It's like last bits of the plate. And then it's been called, finish it. But don't ask your wife, another egg. Fry me another egg. Make me some fries. You're not. Whatever is in there, you finish it. Because the adhan is on. And Abdullah ibn Umar, he was drinking while the Prophet was looking at him and the adhan is finished. And he's still drinking. Abdullah ibn Umar. So that's the hadith. So it's been given to the people who are doing the halal. A person who's smoking cigarettes, we tell them, you're smoking haram. And you remember the spiritual break that we talked about. The whole Ramadan is a training session for you. Why don't you just leave the cigarettes? This is equivalent to a person who's drinking wine. Yes, I'm saying this. Because both of them haram. Ibn Baz, Shaykh ibn Uthaymin, Ibn Baz, Shaykh al-Albani, they say that the cigarette is more haram than the alcohol. Yes. The alcohol is haram for you to drink it. But if you drink it next to me, it's not going to affect me. But if you're smoking, you're killing everybody. It's haram in itself and haram for the others. So cigarettes is haram more than the alcohol. That's what Ibn Baz said and Shaykh al-Albani said. And it's the fatwa is written. So if it is the case, make sure, ya Ikhwani, just make sure that you don't remove it a lot. So, Ikhwani, if it is the case, imagine somebody's having a glass. He wants to fast, having a glass of wine. And then he's on, let me finish the end of my wine. How can you do such a thing? The same thing, Ikhwani, when we say, a person who's a traveler, he's got the concession of what? Shorten what? The prayer. But if he's traveling to fornicate with a woman, scholars said they don't have that concession. You understand me? He hasn't got that concession to go and shorten the prayer because he's traveling for haram. Same thing is this person hasn't got that concession when the adhan is on and he is smoking a cigarette. Okay, stop your cigarettes, otherwise you break your fast. Now, the boys. Yeah. تفضل حبيبي.
Jazakallah khair and stuff. So on the topic of like smoking and stuff, would smell in general break your fast? So you get like these ALPA sticks which you put up your nose and that kind of gets rid of blocked noses, or say, I don't know, somebody's making nice food, you might smell it and that might be help you with your fast? Would that break your fast at all?
So smelling the food, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Smelling the food, you come into the house, your wife and your mother or whatever is cooking, mashallah. The smell of the curry is really, I'm not going to say polluting the house, but it's spreading the whole house. You know, curry is really strong, isn't it? So you come in, not going to break your fast. Not your mother, not anybody. But if this person comes to the saucepan or the cooking pan and he puts himself there, intentionally doing like this, that might break his fast. Women who is as well cooking the food, she's allowed to taste the food, not to swallow it, salty, not salty, spicy, not spicy. But not everybody in the family. Can I taste the food? No, you don't taste the food because you're nothing to do with cooking the food. You taste the food when you break your fast. This one, she's a need. She tasted it and she will spit it. Okay? So that tells me as well, toothpaste. You can brush your teeth while you're fasting. As long as you get rid of the what? Of the toothpaste particles. Get rid of it, it does not break your fast. Now, I think you need to put that volume down of the speaker. Remember number one on the left hand side? Put it down. No. Hello. Give this to him and talk about the speaker then. Give this person. When you get closer to the mic of the speaker, ooh, you see what I mean?
Hello.
Did you it down, yeah? Go on, yes.
Jazakallah khair, Ustad. If you're doing Monday and Thursday fast, the 3 white days, if someone offers you food, your mum makes you food, are you allowed to break your fast then? If you're...
Voluntary or
Yeah.
Voluntary?
Yeah.
Yeah, voluntary, no
Yeah,
problem.
sir.
You are as-sa'imu amiru nafsih. Prophet said, the fasting person, that means voluntarily, he is the prince of himself. Okay? You could break your fast, no problem. Especially if somebody invited. Prophet of Allah, when he had some companions, and he had offered them the food, they said, we're fasting. He said, the Prophet, لَقَدْ تَكَلَّفَ لَكُمْ. He had to put the burden on himself to cook for you. Honor him. Honor him. So, if you fast voluntary, then break your fast for the sake of giving joy, putting joy into the heart of this brother of yours.
Jazakallah khair.
الصائم أمير نفسه. نعم. Yeah.
Shaykh, if I'm in the middle of Ramadan and tomorrow I'm traveling after Dhuhr, after the break of dawn, can I eat or do I have to?
Well done question. Right. Is it possible for the person to break his fast from the beginning of the day in Fajr, but his traveling is going to start later on? You know, for prayer, you cannot shorten the prayer unless you have traveled. You can't shorten the prayer before the travel commences. But what about fasting? Fasting, ikhwani, hadith sahih. That is, and a book has been made by Shaykh al-Albani, Tasheeh Hadith Iftar al-Sa'im Qabla al-Safar. He said hadith to be authenticated regarding the person to make and initiate a journey, okay, after the dawn. So you could just break the fast. So if your journey, let's say you got a flight at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you are not journeying, no, you're in the house. You're going to go to the airport at 12 o'clock. Can I break my fast from the beginning, 6 o'clock? Yes. You don't have to make the intention for fasting that day because you're journeying on that day. No problem. But this is ikhwani different from a person who is working hard job. Very hard job. Let's say he's a baker. He's in front of the oven. Okay, and it's a hot day. And he's definitely going to collapse if he fasts the day and it's Ramadan. So this person, he cannot have the intention of breaking the fast until he will fast and he will be putting the job. And if he felt it's going to collapse, then at that moment he will break his fast. But he cannot break his fast before that. He has to, because maybe on that day the cool breeze will come, will help him, and he will be having no difficulty and will continue the day. Any other question, Khwani? تفضل يا حبيبي يا راشد. Rashid, Jazakallah khairan, comes from Luton. He's a Luton. Has to pay extra tax. تفضل.
Yes, Shaykh. Yeah. The question continues on the travelling. If you were travelling abroad and you reach your destination, you're going to be there a few days. Are you obligated to fast?
Well done. So if I am not in the journey process, but I'm in a place where I am a traveller, can I as well have the concession? Is that what you're asking? Yes, no problem. Whether you are in the process or as long as you are shortening the prayer, you are a traveller. So whether you are in the process of traveling, going into the plane, on the train, on the car, and all of that, or in a place where you are in a journey itself, because you're not resident. And once you reside, and you have the intention to reside, then the rules of residential comes onto you. Otherwise, you're still a traveller. When you are shortening the prayer, okay, you're still a traveller. All right? Prophet ﷺ, when he arrived to that place before he entered Mecca, he was still breaking the fast. Entered Mecca, he was camping when he found Abu Sufyan, all of that. He was still breaking the fast, even though he's camping. He's not in the process of moving. Okay, now.
So if a person is fasting during Ramadan and
Can you just take that from the doctor? The doctor standing up. Take that, yes.
if a person is fasting during Ramadan and he forgot, start drinking or eating.
If you forgot, no problem to eat. You had kebab in the morning of the first day. Usually people the first day who then got used to the fast, they'll eat and drink and all of that. But if you see somebody doing such a thing, you have to tell him off. So you can't just say to him or to yourself, I'm not going to stop him because he's fasting and he forgot, let him. No, you have to tell him that you're fasting to stop and remind him. So this person, once he remembers, he should abstain and Allah's given him the food and gave him the drink. I'd give it to you. Let's say that you have this bottle, you were drinking. Bismillah, I'm drinking now. I'm fasting by the way. I forgot and I'm drinking. Okay, Bismillah. I remember now. I'm fasting. I've got some in my mouth. Well, I drank it. I broke my fast.
You broke, yeah?
Yes. Because the last bit. Yes, the last bit. If that last bit was there in my mouth and I remember I'm fasting, I have to spit it out. Because that last bit, I'm enjoying that, mashallah, very nice. So because I'm enjoying it, it doesn't matter. Let me add this. No, that drop, it will break your fast. Once you remember, just spit it out. I'm not saying to spit it out, the one which is you drank, the one which is in your mouth. As for the one which is like a morsel, let's say it's a morsel, like a piece of bread. And it's here. Please, do not kill yourself and start fishing it out. Kill yourself. It's gone. You might make it cause injury for yourself. No, no, no. That's it. Now.
One more question. No, go on. You didn't.
Sheikh, my question is, for the people that consider travelling from city to city, for example, like let's say Luton and St Albans, let's say they consider that to travel, can they still?
I don't consider Luton to St Albans travelling for myself.
Okay, but okay, the brothers that let's say they consider that as travelling, can they?
But I don't. They consider no problem. I'm not saying they're wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
My question was going to say, is it?
So each person differs. We don't have unanimous decisions on every place. That, Akhi, you have crossed the red line. This is a traveling place. No, there's no such thing. Whatever you consider traveling, maybe I don't consider traveling.
Okay.
And vice versa as well. So I believe they are from the same place, St. Albans. Allah Alam. So I'm just saying it depends upon each person's what is convention regarding this issue. Khawani, it's not black and white regarding the traveling. There's grey areas. Lots of grey areas regarding the fast. But we're going to call it. You ask a question?
Once more.
You ask one?
If you're at the doctor's, you have to get injections done in you. Is that the same as a
Doctors
drip?
what?
If you're getting injections.
Injection.
Is that the same
Injection
as
as long as it's not a drip, injection. Flu jab, coronavirus, no problem. Having a shower, everything. Okay, injection for steroids, steroids make you stronger. Okay, listen really. Yes, that's permissible. Any medicine is permissible as long as it does not have bad effects on the person. The doctor said, no problem. What's wrong with steroids?
It has high effects. It depends. Some of them's got.
I'm just saying that depends upon the doctor because I'm saying steroids is. I'm not saying to go and cheat in the games and all of that, but if it gives the person, because I know the steroids are being given to a patient for a week to get them stronger, especially the ones who are exposed to radiation for cancer. I know that they take these injections to get them stronger. You're going to benefit from that. Allah musta'an. Right, Yalla Shammam. Yeah. Switch off this. Yalla Shammam, Yalla Shammam. I can't hear him.
We can't hear you, Sheikh.
Yes, go ahead, Yalla Shammam. Okay, Zohra.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam barakatuh.
I got a message from an imam who is Hanafi about a quote from Ibn Taymiyyah about the 15th night of Sha'ban that the pious predecessors used to specially devote this night for Salah.
I've heard about Hanafi Imam and I've heard about 15th night of Sha'ban and I've heard about designating the night by night prayers. Is that correct?
Yeah, and it says that some of the pious predecessors used to do it, and the quote is from Ibn Taymiyyah.
Okay,
so
listen
I'm
to
really
me, Ikhwan.
confused.
When you ask a question, please, if this question is going to mean something that is to belittle or degrade a particular madhab, don't mention it. So it's Hanafi Imam. I don't need to just, a person said, I don't need to mean Hanafi, Shafi'i, because it's like we are putting down the Hanafis. That's not correct. Abu Hanifa rahimahullah is one of our scholars. Okay, so let's just say a person saying that there is designation of prayers during the night Sha'ban. Forget about Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah is out of their reach. That's not correct. The hadith, which is I said a number of times, so please understand, we are working with hadith. We're not working with who is said and who is not said. The hadith, I could add lots of scholars who said it's okay, not just Ibn Taymiyyah. We are playing with the hadith. The hadith is authentic, we do it. It's not authentic. The hadith is going to be fabricated. That is, you do prayers and do fasting on the 15th, which is today, is incorrect. Hadith is fabricated. Okay, the hadith, it's fabricated. It's called Ibn Sabara. Ibn Sabara is the person who's a liar. Okay, scholars have consensus is da'if jiddan, unauthentic. So if it's da'if jiddan, we can't designate prayers or whatever in the 15th night of Sha'ban. And actually, Ibn Taymiyyah is with us on this issue, but maybe he had quoted some. I think he misquoted. There is other scholars who said it's okay. We understand, like Imam Subki, rahimahullah, who said it's okay, and he made it to be all right based upon that he thinks his hadith is authentic. Okay, but the hadith is not authentic. He's not a muhaddith. نعم. والله تعالى أعلم. وسبحانك اللهم بحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. I have to go because people are coming here. بارك الله فيكم.